Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
All right, everybody, welcome into A Reel and a Beer. We just got out of Avengers Endgame. We've been waiting on this one. Culmination of all these movies over the last 11 years. Finally, to this one ending point to end Phase 4. Completely end it. To the point where, obviously, you guys are going to see on the screen, this is a spoiler review. So, completely end this Phase 4. Completely end everything we've seen up to this point.
22 movies, right?
Yep, go into a new direction. With that being said, we have a full crew. We don't want to sit here and talk your heads off. We want to get started on the review. We're going to go 3 minutes each. I'm going to time us. We're going to let Josh lead us off. Go ahead, brother.
I loved it. 9 out of 10. It felt to me like a culmination event. We had several different storylines converging here at the end. We had some players that maybe we thought were going to get a little bit more play that didn't get the, to me, if you're a big Hulk guy, you're kind of disappointed. I really thought with the way they did Hulk in Infinity War that he was going to come out. We all suspected we would see Professor Hulk or possibly even World Breaker Hulk. I don't remember Hulk throwing a punch. So, if you're a Hulk guy now, but this was centered around Iron Man, Captain America. We got an ending to those two story arcs. So, one of them was a good ending, one of them was a bad ending. But we still got some closure, if you will. So, I liked it. I loved the battle at the ending. I did not see that happening. There was a lot of things that I predicted that I got right, some that I got wrong. But overall, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. So now there is an unanswered question of how Strange was actually able to sling ring them back out of the Soul Stone. And that was kind of left unanswered, but maybe we'll discover that in the next movie next year or so. So we'll wait a year and find out an answer.
Yeah,
is there a need for Adam Warlock anymore? I mean, or is he going to stay with the Golden Girls? So overall, I liked it. It was just, for me, it was closure on these storylines.
Right.
I'm thrilled that Cap got to spend time with Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was awesome. with his shield and with Mjolnir, I love that.
Yeah.
So, I will relinquish any remaining time to
All right.
the next.
All right, since we talked about Hulk, I want to get a Hulk man's review. This man has anticipated this movie this whole year because of the last performance by Hulk. D.
Give it to us, man. Give
You
it.
do? Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest here. Hulk didn't do shit in this movie. We all know that Bruce Banner is a genius. He's got 7 PhDs. His mind is involved in everything that happens in the MCU. We thought that we would get Professor Hulk. We got Professor Hulk. We didn't see the Hulk throw a single punch in the movie. I think he beat up one little minute person. So, hey, we saw what Banner can do. We already know what Banner can do. We didn't see anything what the strongest character in the MCU arguably can do. He didn't smash a single thing except the scooter.
And he punched the floor when Natasha died.
So I mean, we've seen 2 movies and stuff, and we've seen the Hulk get punked in Infinity War, and we've seen how smart that Professor Hulk is. That sucks. Overall, the movie was decent. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was horrible. Maybe 7 out of 10, middle of the road. It had its moments. Some great moments with Captain America. He finally got his due justice. I feel like he stole the show. I feel like Ant-Man stole the show. I feel like Rocket stole the show. A lot of comedy, a lot of action. The storyline, to me, felt a little bit all over the place. It didn't have the flow that the other movies have had. In my opinion, there were some loopholes that weren't answered. There were some things that, looking back at it, the more that we're going to talk about it, we're going to be like, they don't really make no sense. And, overall and stuff, I mean, like I said, it was okay for me. As a Hulk fan, it sucked.
Good. All right, I'm gonna kick it in another direction. Let's go with Mr. Danny. Danny, give me what you got.
Yeah. Did I think it was a great movie? Yes, absolutely, it was a great movie. Did it have some absolutely great, fantastic moments, like epic as far as like Star Wars, like when Rey and Ren was going against the Emperor's guards, and it was just such a majestic fight. When the fight scene between Captain America and Thanos, I mean, that was just beyond epic. I mean, if I can give you several different screw ups in the movies, not right. It's not my Infinity War ending, that I grew up and wanted to see and stuff, and I didn't get. But for it being the MCU and the cinematic universe, completely just understand the route that they went. But saying that, all the different mistakes and the things I've seen, that one fight scene just completely it made the whole movie better. I mean, it was a complete roller coaster, but it was definitely a memorable go down in history. Luke, this is your father moment of them two colliding. I haven't always been beyond a huge Captain America fan by no means. I mean, Wolverine's my guy, everybody knows that. And then, you pulled out a 1960 some odd comic book, and just reading some of the dialogue about Captain America and how Chris Evans, did the role completely justice from the beginning to the end. And this is their ending, but if they need them in the other movies that are coming out, they'll grab them, bring them back in, and then take them back where they need to be, just like they do inside the comics. I give it a 9.9. That was my call, and for it being this was the MCU movie and I loved it. Was it my Infinity War? Absolutely not. Could I freaking pick it apart? Absolutely. Do I think my daughters will enjoy it more than me? Absolutely. But I mean, for the most part, it was a good time, closing out 11 years with some of my best friends. So I mean, for that, I mean, it was a roller coaster. That's all I got.
All right, I want to go with Mr. Mike.
Oh man, I thought it was a great movie. No, really, I didn't. I really think that this movie had so much more it could have done. I feel that this movie, they're trying to take 22 movies and they're trying to pack it into one. They've got this person, they've got a link in here, and they've got to get this person in there, and they're trying to patch this person in there. And I understand, you got the past and all that, but it felt like the movie started. It was a sad moment, and we get that. Everybody's gone. Half of the universe is gone. So that's something you got to build from. You got to, and I think the acting as a whole, I want to say this positively, the acting for how they were down and out, how everyone had to go through the complete, how everyone was completely just torn apart of how half the universe was gone. I understand that, but it led for over half the movie. And then they had to patch every little piece of every movie that Marvel has made up to this point. They had to link in everybody into it. And the real only story to me that really stood out was this man's story. He loses his family. And then the guy, and you get to see how he reacts to it and how he basically gets his justice. From beginning to end, his story was the only continuity we ever really had, the entire story. You get to see the strength of Thanos, but he doesn't battle them with the Infinity Gauntlet, which is what he had in the first movie. The first movie, the Infinity War, basically went from beginning to end. It went smoothly. Everything seemed seamless. Everybody had to come together, and then we see the ending where it was where it really tore everyone down. Everyone was really emotional. Everyone got their emotional ending that we all would think of. But the movie was all over the place. And I thought, and I even mentioned that in the review previously, is that I thought that maybe the time jumps could possibly affect the story a little too much. And I think that's exactly what happened. They bounced it all over the planet. We don't know. I mean, you get confused basically throughout the entire movie. You're like, okay, now where are we at now? And why is it this way? It's hard to keep up with. And then they try to push the ending. And like we've talked about, you
you basically you get excited because there's climactic ending with the characters that are all coming back. You're all excited about it, and then right when it starts ramping up, then you've got these reunions again that just completely cut this entire war that's unbelievable. Like even whenever they were fighting in Wakanda, you didn't have these complete stops. Yeah, you had the whole Captain America. I'm Steve Rogers when he introduced himself to Groot.
15 seconds.
But hell, you're watching things blow up. Now in this one, you don't even have that. It just completely shuts it down. So kind of a little disappointed. I'm a lot disappointed in the movie. I was expecting a lot more. I found that there is a lot of very sentimental scenes.
All right.
Captain America, Iron Man is great. I think their stories is a perfect ending, but I'm highly disappointed in the movie, so I'm going to give it maybe a 5.
Pigs?
What I'm gonna say is, man, what a great movie, and by that I mean, what a great pile of shit. From beginning to end, the movie is just all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It doesn't tell a good story. I come from cinema and from comics and all that, and I know a lot about it. The movie does not tell a good story, and as Mike pointed, it's jumpy. Everywhere you go, the movie jumps all over the place. You can't really get a grasp on what story it wants to tell you. Yeah, we get it, it's about the Avengers, but which one and why? And there's so many, like, holes with each plot during each time jump that you can look into, and I don't know if they're intentional or if it's just a mistake, but that's a lot of mistakes to make, and there's a lot of them, and you don't feel like you're watching a movie that's got good continuity. And then, as Mike brought up, in the big final battle scene, epic. I mean, the Cap holding his shield and Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, will probably be one of the just
shining moments of it.
Will be one of the scenes that will go down in probably cinema history just because of what it is. But it's all taken away by useless dialogue again and again and again and again, and you're just like, why is this here? It doesn't need to be here. We're in the middle of basically a war for everything, and it's But like Mike pointed on again, you get a good ending for Captain America. He gets his happy ending. Iron Man gets a sad ending. Or I guess you could really say Iron Man got his happy ending over the 5 years that, everything jumped. Which is also the biggest plot hole at the end of that movie, is the 5 years that are jumped are not explained in any way, because there are half the people on Earth have been alive for those 5 years, and now half are being brought back into these 5 years that there's no continuity, and that's what I hate. That's one of the things I hate most about movies, is when they do not have continuity, and that's what ruined it for me in this movie, was the continuity. Even as I was pointing to the battle scene, it does not have a continuity. It doesn't have a flow. This movie, that's what ruined the whole movie for me.
It's like you said during the high school scene. How's Peter Parker going to show back up to the high school scene, and everybody should have already graduated? Good point, man.
Yeah.
But that was a complete like I said, you can look at each different scene when they're in the past too, and look at holes. I mean, there's so many holes in that movie that it just feels so incomplete and such a letdown as a final movie of 11 years of our life. And I'd give it a 4 out of 10, and that's just because of a few scenes here and there. And I could keep going, but
time travel's hard.
It's hard business. It's hard business.
One thing I will point out, though, is it does appear that Loki is alive, because he escapes with the Space Stone when they have him in the custody when they're in that realm. He just kind of gates out.
But I mean, he also made that one big point about, look, it's not Back to the Future rules. That's your future is, even though it's in the past, that becomes your future. And that's one thing that just opens up any possibility for any of these characters coming back. That's all I got. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start myself here.
Get 'em.
All right, We get 3 minutes to do this. This is going to be hilarious. The movie was an absolute letdown. 100% letdown. 100% letdown. The MCU is notorious for powering up people and powering down people. I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. Thor is an absolute joke in this movie. He is a comedy relief of Drax proportion joke.
He's a fat drunk uncle at the trailer park.
Horrible.
Lebowski.
All right. Way too many plot holes. Zero flow. What made Infinity Wars great? It was a flow. The movie started and it took off and it went up and it went up and it went up and it ended on an unbelievable note that nobody thought they had the balls to do. Well, guess what? They did it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, did Captain America have a great scene? Absolutely. I'm the biggest Captain America fan you'll ever see. Does Iron Man have a great scene there at the end where he says, yes, I am Iron Man? He snaps. Yes, great scene. I'm sorry. That does not make up for an overall atrocious movie that has the Incredible Hulk not throw a damn punch in the whole movie. Then the Incredible Hulk's woman dies and he still don't throw a punch in the damn movie. You've got the Winter Soldier. If you watch the movie The Winter Soldier, you saw how epically badass he is. The whole Civil War movie in the MCU is based around him. When the cops come to get him, look how badass he was. Guess what? He shoots a gun for 5 seconds.
This dude throws a zero out.
He don't even go tell Captain Rogers, old man Steve, on the bench goodbye. Are you kidding me? His best friends from the 40s don't even tell him goodbye, and he hands the shield over to Falcon, and his best friend since the 40s don't even walk over there and say his goodbyes. Are you fucking kidding me? That is an absolute joke. Peter Parker coming back to high school 5 years later, unless we're in a damn time loop here where everybody's stupid as shit and fell out, flunk out, his fat friend's still there and he looks the same. He has to be about a 5-year or 4-year senior.
He's a 23-year-old slave.
Stupid. It's stupid. Then the movie, I knew they was going to have a problem with time jump. I knew that was coming because you could see it coming a mile away. And then I thought, okay, they're going to bail it out with this epic fight. It starts that way, and then we get break after break after break in the middle of the fight that stops even the flow. They won't even let us have a flow in a damn fight scene. They stop it and stop it and stop it. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The movie is shit. I'll never watch it again. I'll give it a 4 at 3.5. It's not even a 4. 3.5 at best. That's it for Real and a Beer. We're shutting this spoiler review down. If you like our comments, please comment below. If you don't like them, that's fine too. Please comment below.
Thanks for checking us out, though.
We welcome all your comments. Hit the like and subscribe button if you like the material here. Hit the bell for the notifications. Get the new material as soon as it drops. We are out.